If you're a full user, it's really important to make sure that we're showing your meetings in the upcoming tab. So we're going to talk about how to get that set up. One of the reasons why this is helpful for a full user is this allows Jump to tell you which meetings the note taker is going to show up to automatically. And then you as the full user, or you as the light user that has access to a full user's meetings, you can disable that note taker there if you don't want the note taker to show up to the video call. A full user can also click into one of their upcoming meetings to start the note taker, and this is you using your computer for an in-person meeting or for a voice dictation. So there's definitely some benefits to having a full user set up their calendars to sync over into the Jump portal. Now, to do this, you will need to make sure you're integrated with whatever system is housing your events. So make sure the full user goes to their user settings and visits the integrations page. The next step is to have the full user go to their preferences tab and then locate the calendar section here. Any meetings that are showing up in your upcoming tab are directly connected to what a full user has selected from this page. Now, we can sync over events from a full user's Zoom calendar, Gmail, Microsoft 365, Microsoft Exchange, or we can sync over calendars directly from Redtail or Wealthbox. If the full user has all of their meetings on Wealthbox, then they'll want to select the Wealthbox calendar that's showing up here from this list. You can also select multiple calendars too, which may be necessary if your team schedules client meetings on Wealthbox, but you schedule your internal team meetings on your Google Calendar, right? In that case, you can select both calendars from this list. The only reason I wouldn't recommend selecting multiple calendars is, let's say you're syncing your Wealthbox events to your Google Calendar. Well, in that case, you would only want to select one calendar, because if you select both, then you're going to get duplicate events showing up in your upcoming tab, and that could be pretty confusing. Now, if you're a Redtail user, you will see some Redtail calendars showing up here. And what you're seeing in the parentheses is your categories for your activities in Redtail. So let's say you typically schedule a client meeting in Redtail and you choose the category general information, then you would want to select general information from this list. Again, you can select multiple calendars, so don't be afraid to go through here and select as many calendars as you need. Don't forget to click the Save button when you're done selecting your calendars, and then you can now go to your upcoming tab to ensure that those are syncing over. Now, I did mention you can sync over your Zoom calendar directly, and that's really only necessary if you only use your Zoom calendar. Most of the people that I've worked with don't tend to use only Zoom for their calendar. If you schedule your meetings in Outlook and you're embedding the Zoom link in that Outlook event or that Gmail event or Wealthbox or Redtail, you could just do that. You don't have to sync over your events directly from Zoom. So this really is only for people that don't use Outlook or Gmail or Redtail or Wealthbox or Exchange for their calendars. They just use Zoom for scheduling their meetings. That would be a good reason to select the Zoom calendar from this dropdown. The last tip I'll share with you is about Microsoft Exchange and Microsoft 365. If you log in through Microsoft when you access your Jump account and you go to your upcoming tab and you're not seeing your meetings sync over from your Outlook calendar, it may be because you actually use Microsoft Exchange instead of Microsoft 365. So if you're in your upcoming tab and it's blank, then I would recommend going to your user settings, going to your integrations, setting up an integration with Microsoft Exchange, and then going to your Preferences tab and selecting Microsoft Exchange as one of the calendars here. It'll show up just like you can see the Microsoft 365 symbol. It'll show a Microsoft Exchange symbol. You can select the calendar, then you'd click Save, then check your upcoming tab to make sure your meetings are syncing over. It can take a few minutes for meetings to sync over from Microsoft Exchange into Jump. So if you just set up the integration and you're still not seeing meetings in your upcoming tab, wait a few more minutes, refresh your screen, and eventually you will see your meetings show up. As always, please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you do have any questions. Feel free to use that chat bubble in the bottom right corner of your screen to send us a message. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.